The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Welcome in to an all-new edition of the Belly Up Fantasy Live Baseball Show on the Belly Up Sports Network. We took an all-star break last week, but we are back, and now we turn our attention to the stretch run of the fantasy baseball regular season, preparing for the playoffs coming up now and just several matchups away. I'm Vince Stover, joined as I am every week by the senior writer at bellyupsports.com, covering all things fantasy, the one and only Kevin Wilson. Hey, Kev, how you doing?
Doing great, Vince. It's great to be back. And as you mentioned, we took some time off, and but there's still a lot to talk about. So I'm excited to get into this right here.
We've got a ton to talk about. We're going to talk fantasy stuff. We're going to talk all-star. We're going to talk playoff races in Major League Baseball. Yes, plenty of things to discuss. So let's get.
Yep. Before we get started, I also have to mention that this is Shark Week starting today. So if you're into sharks as I am, then you need to be tuning in to Discovery Channel this week. So there you go.
Well, I wish they would support us for that.
That would be great. We'll have to have a discussion with him.
There we go. Yeah, we'll work on that. All right, here we go. Segment number one, we call it the Fantasy Burner. Our Fantasy Burner is presented by Belly Up Sports. Listen, if you like to read things, bellyupsports.com has you covered. Fantasy advice in baseball and football, articles covering the NFL, college football, Major League Baseball, NHL, NCAA basketball, NBA. There's women's sports, men's sports. It's all there on bellyupsports.com. And if you're more of the watching type versus reading, Belly Up Sports YouTube channel has you covered for that too, with all kinds of great programs available there. So check it out. Today's Fantasy Burner segment, we're looking at, as it's not really the second half. As a matter of fact, it's not even close to the second half. But now that we turn from the All-Star break, all the attention goes towards the playoffs. And so we're looking at players who've had a hot start. They've been really good this season, but we think they're going to start to fall off here as we head towards the fantasy playoffs. And so I'm intrigued to see, Kevin, who you have. Mine are probably a little bit safe, but nonetheless, we'll see how they break down. So let's start with you today on who's someone that you have tailing off now as we head towards the playoffs.
Well, I think that we have to start with Paul Skeens. And it depends on the league that you're in, because in the Dynasty League we're in, he's number 6 overall. In the Fantasy League, regular Fantasy League we're in, he's already fallen out of the top 10. And I think that's a trend that's going to continue. And it's great that he started 2 All-Star games in a row. But the last 3 starts before the break, he only pitched 5 innings in all 3 of those starts. Wow. And so the Pirates are doing, it seems, what we thought they might do last year, and they really didn't. They're curtailing his innings. And the Pirates are a mess. They just got swept at home by the Chicago White Sox, of all teams. And so the chances of him getting wins was minimal to begin with, because he doesn't pitch long enough. And so if he only goes 5 innings and he starts, he's not going to build up the stats that he's going to need to maintain where he is. And I've got him on my fantasy team, and I'm not quite ready to make a move yet. But if you're fighting for your playoff lives, I don't know if you want to attach a whole lot of confidence in Paul Skeens going forward.
I did not expect to hear Paul Skeens' name mentioned in segment number 1 today. So bold take, Kevin. I like it. I always enjoy your thoughts behind your opinions on these things too. So well thought out. And now it makes my list look really puny. So I'll go with my hardest hitting person that I've got in this segment, and that is another starting pitcher, and it's Logan Webb of the San Francisco Giants. And I want to make this clear. I made my list last week, last week, of course, yes, but like Wednesday last week. So it was, he pitched yesterday against Toronto and dropped a -3 point outing on his fantasy owners He went 6 innings, 4 earned runs, 11 hits. He's had 6 or more hits in all of his starts in since the 19th of June. He still is going decent amount of innings, but he's allowing a lot of runs. He's not scoring a ton of fantasy points. Against the Dodgers right before the break, he went 5.1 innings with 6 earned runs. So I look at just the trajectory. First of all, overall of the Giants, I think that as far as the team goes, you'll see some drop off from the first half. But Logan Webb has been stellar, 3.08 ERA, 140 strikeouts. He's 9-7 on the season so far. I just think Logan Webb is going to start to trail the wrong direction for fantasy owners headed towards the playoffs.
You're probably not wrong with that because the Giants went up to Toronto and got swept. And so I know your dad's a big fan, and you say I never say anything positive about them to begin with, but they're a team I think they're standing right there on the brink. They need to start bringing it just a little bit. So I don't think that's a bad take at all. And so I'm going to move to a team that's right here down the street, and that's, of course, the Texas Rangers, who won. They're playing right now, but they beat Detroit 2 games this weekend so far. But they're almost out of the playoff race. And if they start to slide, the pitcher that you're going to need to keep a sharp eye on is Jacob deGrom, who is number 6 currently and has pitched as well as they could have ever expected him to pitch. But if they start to slide out of the race by the end of July, they're going to cut back on his innings because why wouldn't they? Right. They want him to be ready, and Nathan Eovaldi's in the same boat. He's not top 10 because he was hurt. But both of those guys are going to get scaled back on their innings. We've got a couple weeks yet, so I'm not saying drop him or trade him or anything, but if it looks like they're starting to slide, you're going to need to keep this in mind and see if you can move him before this innings thing kicks in.
Fair enough. He's been impressive this year so far. And I admit, I will gladly admit that I was wrong on him coming into the year as well. Those kind of guys scare me, and that really brings me to my next guy. Yeah, and it's Minnesota outfielder Byron Buxton. Buxton has been on a tear again this year, playing really, really good baseball. He's got 22 home runs, 17 stolen bases. He's batting .289. But I go back to the tried and true, right? Byron Buxton has played 100 games or more only twice in his 10-year Major League Baseball career. He played 140 games back in 2017, and he played 102 games last season. Other than those 2 years, he's not breaking past 100 games. He is at 80 games currently this season. He is a risk at any moment to be on the IL and to not finish out the year. He is playing very good baseball. He has more home runs this year than he had either of the last 2 seasons. He is RBI-wise already more than what he's had ever in his career. He's at a career high RBIs where he sits right now in this season. So he's having a stellar year. By the way, outside of 2017, when he played 140 games, he's also at a career high in stolen bases. So, and that's in 80 games. He's playing great, but at any moment, he could fall off the cliff. At any moment, he could stub his toe on the coffee table at home. At any moment, he could catch his pinky on the door. I mean, it doesn't matter. He's not going to play a full season. He's not going to get, obviously, he's not going to get to 162 games. We already know that, but he's not, I would not be shocked if in the next 20 games he's hurt and he's done for the season. So I'm cutting bait with Byron Buxton because I don't think he's going to be around to help you in the playoffs. And that's where I really feel it's not a talent thing for Buxton. It's not a getting on a slump thing for Buxton. It's a health issue for him, and I don't trust his health at all.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. And if I had him, which I don't in any league that I am in, but if I did, I would potentially look to see if I can move him before this injury happens, as you mentioned, because it's going to happen, and then you won't have any trade bait at all after that.
Right.
All right, so this next guy is he plays for the Toronto Blue Jays, who are hot, as we just mentioned. They swept the Giants, but I'm talking about their catcher, Alejandro Kirk.
Oh, he's on my team.
He's on your team, and that's great. And the reason why that's great is because right now, currently, he's hitting 306, which sounds great. But that's way above what he's done in his career. Over the last 4 years, he's hit 242, 285, which is good. Then 250 and 253. So this 306 is not going to be maintained.
Sure.
And so because I know you've got more than one catcher on your team. I know that. And so if you've got another quality catcher on your team and you've got somebody maybe that's struggling at catcher and you can make a move and possibly get somebody that you like out of this kind of a trade, that's something I would look into going towards the playoff.
All right. I'll have to do some research on that one. Because that one, he has been my diamond in the rough at this point this season. Waiver wire ad, all that good stuff.
Right.
And that's in a league where I didn't have a catcher. And I followed my own advice of constantly changing catchers until all of a sudden one hit. And I hope that he still maintains because it's been very helpful. Very helpful in that league. All right. I'll stick with catcher. Let's go Carson Kelly, Chicago Cubs. Obviously, he's split time anyhow as it is, but he's had a really good season. He's a top 10 catcher as it currently sits in fantasy baseball, but a large majority of his points were done earlier in the season. And now he did have a great series against Pittsburgh right before the break, which is, pretty standard. And, he opened up a series against Colorado really well until going -2 yesterday, 0 for 5 from there. Oh, I'm sorry. That's Byron Buxton. I had the wrong numbers pulled up. I apologize. But Carson Kelly, overall, again, he's top 10 as it currently sits in the season, but I don't trust him long-term the rest of the season. He's only 50% rostered right now, 267, 12 home runs, 33 RBIs. As of late, they played the Yankees right before the break, had one really good game there. But then he's split and he's playing 2 games, sitting the game, that kind of thing as well. There's just other catchers out there who are being more consistent now, whereas Kelly, I think, already has plateaued and now starts that regress for the rest of the season. And I've been trying to warn people forever. The curse has not been lifted over the Cubs. And you watch out now, these next several weeks, the baseball gods are not going to smile on Craig Counsell. So you have to apologize for that. But listen, Carson Kelly's been around for a while, since 2016. And he's having a really good year. He's had more plate appearances this year than last year. He's on pace to be that way at the very least. I don't know, Kevin. He's another catcher that had a really good stretches and does some really good things, but I don't trust them the rest of the way.
Yeah, because I've looked at him as a potential guy to bring. I think I actually did at one time, and then of course he went diving off the short board. So, yeah, that's a catcher. I don't know if I would trust either, despite the team he plays for. And just if you've got him, keep your eyes on him and be ready to make a move.
I like it. All right, let's go. You got one more good one for us?
I do have one more, and I'm not saying to do anything with this guy. Sure. But you need to have your eyes open, and that is, I'm talking about the big dumper, okay? Cal Raleigh. And because there's no chance that this guy is going to maintain the pace that he's been on. He's 38 home runs before the All-Star break, which is great. But currently, he's 2 for his last 19. So the cool down period, and he could straighten out just as fast. But if you're expecting he's going to hit 20, 25 more home runs this year, I wouldn't do that. And if you have him, like I said, I wouldn't do anything with him, of course, because he's been super valued because you were able to take him a little bit later in the draft, and he's by far the number one catcher, and he's also a value. So don't move him, but don't expect this guy to go all gangbusters like he has. So just be ready for that when it happens.
Do you play any effect on home run derby having an effect on the rest of the season?
It's been discussed. I've heard this discussed already on one of our sister shows, and I don't put a lot of credibility to that, because all they're doing is doing batting practice, which they do before a game.
Yeah.
And so I don't think that's going to have a big effect. It apparently has had, I guess, in the past, but I don't think that's going to have a big effect on him. But he is a catcher. That's the other thing, is because he's behind it, and he's a great defensive catcher, probably the best. And he's not going to be taken out of the lineup very often. If he is, he's going to be the DH, of course. But that's going to have some wear and tear effect on him going down the stretch. So, like I said, just don't be thinking he's going to be all big dumper with capital letters all the way across it down through the ages, and just be ready for him to slump down a little bit.
Okay. All right. Cal Raleigh and Paul Skeens, not names I thought we were discussing here in this first. I like it, Kevin, a lot.
Okay, I bring it. So,
and this guy doesn't compare anything to those guys, but Michael Garcia, Kansas City Royal, second base, third base eligible in fantasy leagues. Again, currently a top 10 player in both second base and third base. He's had a really solid season, more stolen bases, 18 stolen bases, 41 RBIs, 8 home runs. He's hitting 292. But again, you go back and you look at kind of that stretch right up to the All-Star break. And now coming out of the All-Star break, he is 2 for, I got to do my math, 13 in 3 games against the Miami Marlins. You don't go 2 for 13 against the Miami Marlins. That's not if you're a top 10 guy. Listen, Kansas City, we're going to talk standings in a minute. They're 4 games under 500. Their pitching has been okay and good and decent. Their offense has been bad all season long. Garcia has still been able to score, but here's where I come down to now. As we take this turn, you're going to see it. I hate busting on the Reds. Not really. I love busting on the Reds, but the Reds make the turn and they fall off a cliff, right? Kansas City does not have momentum coming into this final stretch. Michael Garcia has been solid. I don't think it's going to hold up, and I think he's going to start to slide now here in this last part too. Plus, you've got other guys talking about falling off. There's other guys who are going to get healthy, and they're going to start playing better. You're going to have a trade or two is going to happen here in the next little bit, and the guy gets moved to a better situation. All those kinds of things are going to happen, and I just think in Garcia's case, he's going to just kind of tail off a little bit here in this final stretch too. He has got that eligibility at two positions, which is nice. He's been a solid player. He's been a great value up to this point this season. In our league, I believe he was taken, 188th in our league overall. So great value from where he sits currently, but I don't trust him the rest of the way. I think, I think he's going to be average the rest of the way versus above average like he's been so far this season.
I've liked him in the past.
Yeah.
But I didn't like him all that much going into this year. So he's way above what I thought. And the whole Kansas City offense, as you mentioned, has been dormant. And I don't see any reason to expect that's going to change. So I don't think you're wrong with this one.
Yeah, because they're not going to be the team that makes the big move. They might trade away somebody. But I don't see them going out and bringing in, one of these guys.
Yeah, they're not going to be the Dodgers and make a move. They're not going to be that.
Yeah. All right. That's the Fantasy Burner presented by Belly Up Sports. Again, you can check them out at bellyupsports.com or on YouTube, the Belly Up Sports YouTube channel. All right. Let's take it into segment number 2. We call it the Hot Corner. Hot Corner is presented by Righteous Felon Jerky. Join the flavor revolution at righteousfelon.com and use the promo code BELLYUP to get 15% off your purchase. Let's start with the All-Star Week and thoughts about the game, the Derby, the ending of the game, all that good stuff. Just your general thoughts on the All-Star stuff.
Okay, so when it came to the Derby, and I know there are a lot of younger people out there, and they all appreciate their the science and everything else, but I thought all that launch angle stuff and miles per hour and all that. It got in the way of being able to follow the ball and know where it was going. And so I was not a fan of that. You had to take their word for it that the ball went out of the ballpark. And I was not a fan of that. And there's got to be a way that they can add that kind of stuff in, and we could still watch the real baseball fly out of the ballpark. And so I was not a fan of all the, stuff that they put it on the screen and everything, but you couldn't follow real baseball. So I was not a fan of that.
I'm just not into the home run derby anymore. Well, the only thing that could get me into it is somebody from my team on there. Outside of that, I just don't care. Everyone's hitting home runs. As a kid, I loved it. I thought it was one of the coolest things ever. My kids like it, and I don't want to poop on their parade, so I don't. But I'm not interested. I got something better to do with my time than watch Jazz Chisholm choke in the home run derby. Like it doesn't do anything for me. I think there's every now and then you get a cool story where a dad's pitching to a son.
Yeah, and that was a cool part of that whole experience. Yes.
Yeah, the hometown kid's doing something cool or whatever. And honestly, Kevin, I think that the way the game ended takes away from, even though it's another night, takes away from the excitement of the home run derby, because you go, that was more fun than the actual derby was.
It was.
Opinion, at the very
I agree with that 100%. And the thing I had no problem that if the game hadn't ended in a tie, I would have no idea whatsoever. That's the way they do it now.
Yeah, you're right.
So, and I was watching it. I put it on just to see, because I knew that the National League was winning. And then I put it on just to see. And then the American League tied the score, and I was like, the heck with this nonsense. And I turned it off. So I didn't see any of the swing off because I was upset, because I figured, well, American League is going to win for like the 88th time in a row or whatever it is. So I didn't see it. And the next day when I woke up, I saw that they did the swing off, and I thought, well, that's cool. And so I have no problem with that, because nobody wants to burn out a pitcher or any of that. So I'm with that. But then I heard that somebody more than once bring this up that, we should end games in the regular season that way. And that's absolute nonsense. And whoever's thinking that, you better shut your pie hole, because no one wants that.
Let me ask you this. This is not something I've ever asked anybody. Would it make more sense? Oh, but this is gonna make some people mad.
Okay.
Why not have ties in regular season baseball? Why not say you can play 10 innings, 11 innings, whatever it is, but cap it? Because in the day and age that we're in with relief pitchers, then, different things happening. Like why not say we'll give you one extra inning? No, we won't give you any ghost runners, just one extra inning. And if you guys can't win it in one extra inning, then it's a tie. And then you go to, because you still have your record and you just add ties to the record. Hockey does it. Right. Football does it. Basketball does not do it. So, 2 of the 3 major sports already do it. 4 major sports already do it. So still play extra innings, but maybe only 1 extra inning or 2 extra innings, and say if you can't get it won by then there you go. It's a tie.
Well, that goes all back to, what's the object? It's to win the game.
Well, yeah.
And so I know how things are working, because they use 7 relief pitchers nowadays and all that. But you got to win the game, and that's the way it should be. And because we have to, we need to maintain baseball in some form that we can recognize. And to sit there and and it'll never happen because the players aren't going to have this. But to have a swing off at the end of because hockey doesn't end at a tie; they have the shootout, and so
that's true. So you get you're right. I apologize.
Which okay, whatever. That's kind of a silly way to end the game to me as well. But to have the swing off at the end of the All-Star game, that's fine because you don't want that game to end in a tie. Like it did when it was in Milwaukee, 5 years ago, whatever it was. And so you have the little swing off, but you're right, it certainly detracted from the home run derby because this really mattered. So I'm just saying, don't bring that nonsense into this kitchen talking about we're going to end games in the regular season with the swing off. I don't want to hear it.
No, I'm not for the swing off in regular season games either, or postseason for that matter. And I'm not either. I don't have a problem with ties, as long as you give them an opportunity to win the game. Like you can't just say, all right, 9 innings is done, it's a tie. I don't like that. But I also don't have a problem with the ghost runner, and you do. So
yeah, I have a huge problem with it.
One of these days when we get to baseball heaven, baseball gods will tell us who was right and who was wrong.
Okay.
All right. All-Star game as a whole, I thought was good. I thought there was a lot of excitement with it. It's the best All-Star game out there.
Oh, by far.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
the only All-Star game that's played like the regular product.
Right.
And, so when you get a guy come in there and he's throwing at 98 miles an hour, he's throwing at 98 miles an hour.
Yep.
He's not throwing lob up there, and they score 178 points like they do in the NBA All-Star game or any of that. It's a real pitch and it's a real hitter and it's a real result. So,
well, and the broadcast was good. I mean, they had the mic, they mic up the players, interview them while they're in the field. That's cool.
Yeah.
Having the team jerseys is the best way to go.
Absolutely. I'm glad that they've stopped that nonsense as well.
Yeah. Because those home run derby uniforms were disgusting.
But they have been for several years.
Yes.
And so why they still continue that is a mystery to me.
Yeah, I love any All-Star game where players are wearing their own uniforms. It's cool as a fan to see your Brewers uniform out there. It's cool, to see the different hats out there on the field. Like all of it's really cool. I think the Major League Baseball All-Star game is pretty awesome.
It is. And if you're a fan of the Seattle Mariners, let's say, and you've got your star player up there and he's bashing balls all over the place, you want to see Mariners on his shirt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agreed. All right, let's get over to the divisions and the playoff races and all that good stuff.
Okay.
We have made the turn. This is the stretch run. However you want to look at it, that's where we're at right now. Blue Jays are 3 games up on the Yankees.
Right.
And they are playing really good baseball. The pitching has been very good as a whole. Yankees are 3 games back. They're still bashing the ball. Like they have a plus 112 run differential right now. Boston's only 5 games out. The Rays are only 6.5 out. All 4 of those teams are above 500, and the lowly Orioles out of it back there, 13.5 back. I look at this: Blue Jays, 7 of their last 10. Yankees, 7 of their last 10. Red Sox, 8 of their last 10. The Rays, 3 of their last 10. Right. Yeah. So you look at all these things. Toronto, again, I can say I was wrong. I gave up on them a long time ago. I said almost from day one, Yankees will win this, no problem. They'll have no issues out there in the AL East. And yet the Rays stuck around. They led even for a day or two. Now Toronto's been leading. So I want to start with the division aspect of it. And is the reality that the Yankees are at the very least not heads and shoulders above everybody else in the division?
They sure aren't. And I was like you, because I thought the Yankees were going to win this. And I thought the division to keep your eyes on was the Central, which has completely unglued.
Yeah.
And but the team that and you just mentioned it, they've gone 3 of their last 10, and that's Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Because, like I mentioned, they've got a whole bunch of home games that they've played, and they're going to hit the road. And And can they maintain that, especially when they are at home and it's 98 degrees with 93% humidity down there? And it will be that way. I've been in Florida and it was August and September, and it was awful.
Yeah.
And so that's going to cause some wear on them, of course, because they're used to playing in that dome and all that. But so I always say that you write off Tampa at your own peril.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to do that, but I think the odds are stacked against them. And Boston, we bashed them when they made that trade and everything, but maybe they know what they're doing up there. And so this is going to be a very interesting race between these four teams, and I'm really interested. And I know I'm nowhere near was it 95 or whatever they call that corridor, but this is going to be a very interesting race to watch.
The trade deadline is going to be intriguing because Boston is one that could either sell or buy, and they probably have the right to do either one. As far as they got some players that they could sell and not kill themselves on, maybe get good return back for it, whatever it may be. So Boston, I think, is going to be one of the most intriguing teams to watch here as the trade deadline approaches. In the AL Central, the Tigers have lost 6 straight, and they're still 10.5 up. So Cleveland's played well as of late as well. Maybe they make it, intriguing. I don't know. Cleveland is minus 43 run differential. Tigers plus 82.
That blows me away.
Yeah. And by the way, Tigers are the only team above 500 in the AL Central. We'll come back to them another day. Astros 4 games up in the West on the Mariners. Them and the Mariners both playing pretty good baseball. Rangers 7 games back, a game over 500. They swept a series as well this week. So when we look at the playoff race in the American League, you got Tigers, Blue Jays, Astros currently sitting as the division leaders, with Yankees, Mariners, and Red Sox as your current wild card teams. The Rays a game and a half back, Rangers 3 games back, Angels are 4 games back in the wild card race, ahead of the Guardians and the Twins. Wild, and the Royals for that matter too. So let's talk about surprises or focusing on that wild card side in the AL. Yankees, Mariners, Red Sox, most likely to fall out of the wild card of those three teams.
Well, when it comes to a team that keep your eye on those 3, to me, is the Seattle Mariners. They just took 2 out of 3 from Houston. They've got your Milwaukee Brewers, who come in there absolutely on fire for the next 3 games. If they can handle them, then they've got the Athletics and the Angels after that for the rest of the month. So at the end of July, we're going to have a really good idea of what Seattle is or isn't. And so that's the team that I have the most questions about, is Seattle, because their team, it's the offense that we've been concerned about, but they blew the absolute doors off of Detroit the weekend before the All-Star game, and it was in Detroit.
Yeah.
And so Seattle is a team that I think we need to keep an eye on. They are probably, I predicted yesterday when I was talking about baseball on the No Credentials Required that the Mariners would be a team that would make a push, which they could be, but they're also a team that all of a sudden could just fall right on their face and be out of it by August. So Seattle's a team to keep your eyes on.
Yeah, for me, it's Boston. Again, I go to the trade deadline. I say, what happens if they move Duran and even why did his name just slip me? Bregman. What happens if they move on from a couple guys and don't really replace them? Then they fall off. What happens if they go out and they add a couple guys instead? Then, maybe now they make the push. I look at these other teams that are out and I'm going, there's no one here. I mean, you could say the Rays, I guess, but no one else is scoring runs. So you're sitting there going, there is no one outside. The Rays and the Rangers are the only positive run differentials of the teams not in the wild card race in the American League. And I don't trust the Rangers as far as I can throw them. Again, trade deadline could change all this thing. I mean, they go out in the trade deadline and land 2 guys, and all of a sudden you're saying, okay, now you got to watch out for the Rangers. But are they going to do that? We'll see. Yeah. So that's the American League.
When it comes to the Yankees, the key for them is Max Fried.
Yes.
Because he ended up, he has a blister.
Yep.
On his, I don't know what finger it is, but he has a blister, and he didn't look good in that last game. He didn't pitch in the All-Star game. And he's still day to day as of last I checked.
Yeah.
And if he falls off, the Yankees got a problem.
Yeah. All right, let's go to National League. National League East, it's a half game difference right now between the Phillies and the Mets. Both teams won 4 of their last 10. That's not what you want to be doing right now. They're pretty even. Phillies plus 60 run differential, Mets plus 39. Pitching has been, the Mets have allowed 2 more runs than the Phillies. So the pitching is almost identical as far as success goes and things of that nature. Their teams are pretty even as far as at home winning record, on the road, not as good. All that good stuff. Marlins, Braves, Nationals, I still won't count the Rays out. I won't count the Braves out. I trust them more than I trust Tampa, but they're so far back. I mean,
they're 12 and a half out.
Yes.
And they only have a, plus 3 run differential?
Plus 1 after the end of the day.
Plus 1 today. Okay. So it's not good.
Yeah. But Strider's look good.
Strider has looked good. And a player that I could have mentioned is Michael Harris.
Yep.
Which
just picked him up.
I'll mention him a little bit later. So that's all I'm going to say about him.
I just picked him up for what it's worth.
Okay. That's what I want to talk about a little bit later.
All right. So Phillies and Mets, they're going to duke it out the rest of the year. We're not too worried about that. That's going to happen. Let's go to the National League Central. Why? Well, because it just so happens there's a tie at the top of the standings right now,
and the best record in baseball, by the way.
Wait, what? Are you serious?
They're tied for the best record in baseball.
Second best behind the Tigers.
Well, let's see. 15-41 and
yeah, Tigers got 60 wins. So they're just above them. But still.
Okay. Well, at the time, I was watching that game live between the Dodgers and the Brewers, and they said at the end of that game that they were tied for the best record in baseball. So Detroit, I haven't seen the Detroit.
Yeah. So
So
as some people know, I'm a pastor, and tonight, as service was getting ready to start, it was 6-5.
That's right.
2 outs, bottom of the 9th.
That's right.
I had to put my phone in my pocket and go into service. So after church, found out the Brewers did pull it off. They're in a 10-game win streak, tied with the Cubs right now for first place in the division, first place in the National League. And I will say this: I've already mentioned it once. The Reds, 4 games over 500, 7.5 back. You're just not going to get me to believe in Cincinnati. They fall off every year after the All-Star break, and they're not hot as it goes right now anyhow. Brewers and Cubs, on the other hand, I think it'll be a duel the entire rest of the season between these 2 teams. And I just feel like I'm on the side of the baseball gods here with saying Milwaukee wins it out. But the way they've been pitching right now has been nuts. Quinn Priester, what he did on Saturday against the Dodgers, insane. 10 strikeouts, the way he held it together there, incredible. And when the Brewers can win with Quinn Priester, and today with Freddie Peralta, or was it yesterday with Freddie Peralta? Yesterday, Freddie Peralta, the Dodgers put some runs up on them, and the Brewers were still able to get the win for Freddie. So
that bullpen of the Brewers has just been lights out.
Yeah. Yeah, they have their moments, right? Koenig last was scared us a lot. They gave up a run tonight in the 9th, that kind of a thing. But yeah, they've held their own. They've been very, very good. I still would like to see them add one more bullpen piece.
That would be helpful. It would be helpful.
Major leaguer, I think would be great. But the Cubs have been putting up runs all season. They've been playing really good baseball, but you're already hearing Kyle Tucker won't be around next year. You're already hearing all this. It's not daisies and sunshine in Chicago.
That's right.
And that's what keeps me going. You look at Milwaukee, man, it is a hyped up, it is energetic, it is happy, everything is good. Chicago is not that way, even though they've been the better team so far this season. So it's going to be a fun race the rest of the way.
It's going to be fun. The next 3 are against Kansas City at home. Then they've got the White Sox on the road, and then your Brewers to close out the month.
Yeah, that's going to be a big one.
That's going to be a big one. And so I'm looking at the standings, and from what I could see, the Cubs, Milwaukee, and Detroit are all tied at 59 and 40.
Yeah.
So they're all tied for the best record in baseball.
All right, Dodgers still hold the West, but they got swept just now by Milwaukee. They've won only 2 of their last 10. They've got swept twice by Milwaukee here recently. Padres, though, again, 3.5 back, not really gaining ground a whole lot.
That's what happens when you get swept.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm sorry. That was the Giants. I got swept.
Okay. So, it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is.
If you go to the playoffs, though, you got Cubs and Brewers. One of them's the leader. One of them's in the wild card. You got Dodgers, Phillies. You got Mets who are going to make it. So I would say, as of now, Mets and Phillies are going to make it. Brewers and Cubs are going to make it. And then you've got Dodgers and somebody. So Padres, maybe. Reds, Giants, Cardinals, Diamondbacks. Like, again, you get to the wild card and you start going, wait, outside of the Padres, there's no one here that makes me go, yeah, they're going to make it. Reds, Giants, Cardinals, Diamondbacks, Marlins, Braves. I mean, if I was a betting man, I would say none of those teams are going to make the playoffs.
No, because the Padres lead the Reds and the Giants by 2.5.
Yeah.
St. Louis, which does not inspire at all. Haven't this season. They've played better than you and I thought they would, but they've only won 3 out of their last 10.
Yeah.
So that stumble has begun for them. So I don't see them. And Arizona is one of the most disappointing teams in baseball. We all know what's happened with them and their injuries and everything else. But
they won 4 straight.
Well, they have, and so that's nice for them.
And they're only 4.5 back from the wild card. So again, I go back to this. So we talked about with Boston trade deadline. Okay, who's going to make moves? Is Arizona going to sell? Are they going to be a team that sells? That seems to be what it's looking like. You're seeing Merrill Kelly, you're seeing Zach Gallen, you're seeing Eugenio Suarez as these guys that everyone's going after. Well, they're only 4.5 out of the playoffs. They've got a ton of talent there. What happens if the Diamondbacks go out and buy big? Maybe they go raid Atlanta and pull somebody off of Atlanta. As much as I hate Marcell Ozuna, maybe they go out and add him as a bat. Maybe they go out and find. I'm trying to think through. I didn't plan for trade talk, but I mean, you look at teams that are out of it. What if Cleveland? Cleveland said all but 4 players are available on their team right now. So you go there. What if Kansas City decides to sell? You go land somebody there. Like, there are options. And so the trade deadline for me, Boston is a team to watch. Arizona is a team to watch. And you always have to watch the Dodgers. You always have to watch the Yankees. You always have to watch the Padres, even though they're not, great. You got to watch them, the Mets, those kinds of teams. But to me, Arizona and Boston are the 2 that can either sell out for the rest of the year or buy in for the rest of the year. And they can make a big, big splash here as we head towards the playoffs.
Yeah, but when it comes to the Arizona, they've got a 3-game series coming up against the Astros at home. Then they hit the road, and against Pittsburgh, that doesn't count at all because they're awful. But then they close the month at Detroit. So they're playing 2 first-place teams out of their next 3 series. And so we'll see how they handle that. I think that if they fall up more further out of the race, they're going to sell.
Sure.
And so, and then good thing you or I did not place any bets on Arizona.
Right. Yeah, we were in pretty hard on Arizona this year.
We were, and it just had paid off.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Anything else we need to cover in this segment?
Oh, let's see. Just one thing, because All-Star game, did you see where Tarek Scoble successfully used that challenge
Yes.
in the All-Star game? So that was interesting. And something that's coming next year. And let's see. Oh, and Aaron Judge has tied A-Rod for the most home runs in New York Yankees history.
Oh, nice. I didn't see that.
Yeah, 351. So there's that. Oh, and Cleveland. I don't know if you saw this. Was Trump opened his mouth and said that Cleveland should change their name back to the Indians, and Cleveland said no, thank you to that. And
Well, I said the same thing about the Commanders in the NFL too.
Yeah, you can make an argument that Washington should change their name anything other than the Commanders, but
I don't have a problem with it, especially updated uniforms. Anyways, that's all.
Anyway, that's don't want to get too political, but Cleveland said that they're not down with it.
Anytime a politician says, "Look here," you should probably be looking over here. And there
you go. And that's let's see, Julio Urias reinstated. Is he going to pitch in the major leagues again?
Well, I mean, sure. There's people desperate enough.
Yeah. I agree with that, and won't be with the Dodgers though.
Yeah,
let me say that.
Yeah, it'll come down to injuries. That'll be a thing,
Right. So, that's about it for that.
I like it. All right, that's the Hot Corner presented by Righteous Felon. Again, righteousfelon.com. Promo code is belly up to get 15% off your purchase. All right, let's get into our waiver wire advice in the Fantasy Focus. Kevin, I haven't been this excited about doing waiver wire ads.
Okay. Strap it in.
I'm not doing any drops. Do you have any drops that you want to throw out there?
I'm going to throw out a couple.
Okay.
And one of them, unfortunately, is a Dodger, and that's Tommy Edman.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. He had 3 hits this weekend, which is great. But that's the only 3 hits he's had in his last 35 at-bats.
He had a home run.
He had a home run yesterday, which is great. Okay. But 3 for 35. And he was one of the key players in the Dodgers winning it all last year.
Yeah.
And it just hasn't happened this year. And if you're in, safely in the playoff hunt, maybe you can have this guy hang around a little bit. But if you're trying to chase your way into a spot, Tommy Edman is, he's got the outfield, he's got all these different positions. But like I've always said, it doesn't matter if you're not hitting. Doesn't matter if you can play, 8 positions. And he's just simply not hitting. He's not helping your team. So him, I'm not too.
Let me give you a fun Tommy Edman story.
Okay.
This week, my son asked me. He said, "Should I drop Tommy Edman?" And I said, "Oh yeah, dude, I dropped him last week." He's like, "Dad, you traded him to me." Oh yeah, I would drop him.
Man, talk about taking your son to the cleaners. Holy Lord.
I traded him this is 3 weeks ago that I traded.
Oh, okay.
But I had him in another league. I did drop him in another league. But yeah, he was like, "Dad, you traded him to me." Like, "Oh, my bad, dude." Yeah.
Okay, so that's one guy, and the other guy is also in the NL West, and that's Wilmer Flores, who at one time led the National League in RBIs.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately for him, he's got 2 hits in his last 5 games, 0 for 8, 0 homers, 0 RBIs in July. And we're almost, what is it, the 20, whatever today is, 20th, I guess? Okay. You got no homers and no RBIs in the whole month of July. You've got to go. And so those are my 2 players that both need to be sent packing.
I like it. All right. So this is why I'm so excited about our ads. Kevin.
No, he played 2 out of his last 5 games. That's what that stat is.
Oh, gotcha.
So he's not even playing every day.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
I had him in another league as well. And yeah, same thing. He wasn't playing consistently anymore. So I had to dump him. All right. Here's why I'm so excited about my ads. I have 4 ads, and all 4 of them are veteran players.
Okay.
Young guns coming up, from the minors and being awesome. These are guys that have been in the league, established in the league, and they're playing some good baseball right now. and they're an opportunity for people to pick them up and play. So I'm going to kick us off with a 30-year-old catcher playing on one of the more disappointing teams in Major League Baseball this year, the Atlanta Braves, and it's Sean Murphy. Sean Murphy came over in the Contreras trade, which looks like a really bad decision by Atlanta. And very happy, though, for Milwaukee, by the way. But Sean Murphy, he's played now since 2019. Last year, he only played 72 games for Atlanta. He's currently at 62 games. Last year, he only had 45 hits for Atlanta. He's currently at 49 hits. Last year, he only had 10 home runs. He's currently at 16 home runs. He's had a really good series against the Yankees, going 4-for-8, so 50% in the series against the Yankees this week. He's been playing solid before the break against St. Louis. He had a 2-home run game and a 1-home run game, going 14 points and 7 points and back-to-back nights, which was awesome as well. Now, he's not the everyday catcher, but typically he's playing 3 games, sitting 1. So he's playing consistently enough as a catcher. He's a veteran. He's been there, done that. And he's playing some really good baseball right now, even though Atlanta isn't playing their best ball. So if you need a catcher, I think Sean Murphy's a great addition this week.
Okay, so we're going to do catcher battles.
Okay.
Because I have one.
I like it.
And that is Victor Carantino.
Oh, yeah.
Do I have that name correct? Okay.
Yes.
At only 2.7% roster. Okay. 2.7%. He went 3 for 4 yesterday. He was 3 for 4 today. And he's on a 9-game hitting streak, 2 homers, 8 RBIs, and 4 runs during that period. And he is splitting time between catcher and DH. So you don't have to worry about whether he's going to play 2 or 3 games and then sit. He and Yandy Diaz, who has been a disappointment by and large, and but they're splitting time at the DH spot and catching. So this guy is going to be in the lineup. He's playing for the Astros, a good team as we know, and only at 7% rostered. He is available. So if, as we mentioned earlier, if you've got catcher issues, this guy, and I picked him up, so don't go looking for him in our league. Okay, your dad needs to know that right off the gate. So he's not available because I picked him up. And so I really like what this guy can bring at the catcher position going forward.
I like it. All right, I'm going to go now to a 35-year-old DH only player playing for the New York Yankees, Giancarlo Stanton. Now, Stanton obviously has only played 23 games this season. He was on the IL for most of the leading up to that point. In his 23 games, he has 19 hits, 4 home runs, 3 doubles, 16 RBIs, 9 runs, by the way. I don't think I said that either. Stanton, here's the one thing you got to worry about with Stanton, is he isn't playing every single day. So, again, he's playing 2, sitting 1, kind of a deal right now. But since the All-Star break this week, they played Atlanta. He went 5 for 8 in the series against Atlanta with 3 runs, 2 RBIs in that appearance. In his 23 games, he's batting .286, by the way, as well. Again, another guy who's been there, done that, a guy who's had his success. He is older. He is more fragile than he has been in the past, but he literally has barely played the season. So he's healthy. He's in there playing. He plays for a really good team and a really good lineup. I really like what Giancarlo Stanton can add. Currently rostered in 9.4% of rosters in ESPN leagues. So I think Stanton's a steal right now. If he's available and you need somebody, especially if you have a bench spot that you're okay to sit him on the bench when he's not playing and put him in when he is playing. Great situation to pick up Giancarlo Stanton.
And that brings up a guy that I could have mentioned in our drop section, and that's Jason Dominguez. And he has not played well, so you don't have to worry about him taking up a whole lot of Stanton's at bats. So that's looking solid right now. So I'm with you on that. And I mentioned him earlier, and I'm going to mention him here, and that's Michael Harris. And let me get this count. If you are in the playoff hunt solidly, And this guy was dropped by a lot of guys, including me, because I am not solidly in the playoffs, and I couldn't have this guy because he was hitting two something.
Yeah.
All right, but he's got a 6-game hitting streak going on right now. And so if you are solidly in the playoff spot, I would go and see, because he's about 50% roster or so, 55, I think it is. But a lot of people did drop him. So if he's available in your league and you've got a place that you don't, can just kind of have him sit around maybe until, he's hitting really, really, really well, I would add him to my team, because this guy, he can go off in the second half. And I think he's primed to do that. So if you've got a spot on your team and he's available, I would add him to my team.
Yeah, I'm in. I'm in on him. I feel like, again, you look at his situation, it can't get worse.
Right.
And so,
right. It's absolutely true.
And so take a swing. That's what I'm doing with them. I've got a league where I've got Jackson Merrill, who's day-to-day right now. I needed to pick someone up in the outfield, and Harris was sitting there. And I thought, well, why not? Why not Michael Harris? So I'm in on him at this moment for sure. All right. Youngest guy in my section tonight. And this player, I believe, is 27 years old. Where'd they go? Yes, 27 years old. And this is an I told you so waiver wire pickup, because this guy was traded not that long ago. And when he was traded on this very program, I said sometimes super talented guys need to get into the right environment. And if you're in a crappy environment, like let's say the Chicago White Sox, to be able to move to a team that puts you in a winning culture, winning environment, like let's say the Milwaukee Brewers, maybe things work out well for you. And Andrew Vaughn was traded to Milwaukee from Chicago, and one of the funniest stories of all time, with a pitcher saying, I want to start. And they said, fine. And they traded you to the White Sox. That's been atrocious. But nonetheless, Vaughn, listen, he started out in AAA when he came. And I told you that's good. And then he gets called up because Rhys Hoskins gets injured. And the next thing you know, Andrew Vaughn is a hero in Milwaukee. He's hitting in RBIs at key moments in every single game, it seems like. 7 games in Milwaukee. He has 2 home runs, 7 hits. He's got 12 RBIs in 7 games, 12 RBIs, and many of them in clutch moments as well. He's first base and DH. He gives you something that you can have when Rhys Hoskins comes back. If Hoskins, they can go back and forth on DH if they need to. Maybe Hoskins isn't playing great and Andrew Vaughn is. Maybe Andrew Vaughn's the future first baseman for Milwaukee. Maybe Rhys Hoskins gets traded. Who knows what happens? But Andrew Vaughn right now, if he's available in your league, and he is, because he's only rostered in 4.8% of leagues. Listen, first base DH eligible in fantasy. He's giving you what you need. And if you need a first baseman, I don't see why not Andrew Vaughn. Against the Dodgers, he went 3 for 6, 5 points and 4 points in the last 2 games. Right before the break, great series against Washington, which who doesn't have a great series against Washington? But my point is, I love what Andrew Vaughn's doing right now. I know I'm a Brewer fan. I get it. But I'm telling you, the situation's perfect. And so if you need someone to fill that void, again, why not Andrew Vaughn? Super talented kid, just needed the right situation. And it seems like he may have found it in Milwaukee.
Well, you were all over that when that trade first happened. So, big ups for you on that.
It's easier when it's your team and you get excited about it. So, all right, who else you got?
Okay, so I didn't do any investigation of how old these guys are, but I want to go with Mr. Gavin Williams of the Cleveland Guardians still, okay? He's at 21% rostered. Today, he went against the Athletics, 7 innings, 1 run, 4 hits, 11 strikeouts, 1 base on balls, 32 fantasy points.
Nice.
So that's bringing on the power right there. 6 inning and 5 of his last 6 starts. The key to this is that we talked about how Kansas City, their hitters are terrible. Well, Friday he plays them on the road, but still it's Kansas City. And if you can hold off and adding, or maybe if you add Adam and let him sit around for the next few days, would be the way to go. So this guy is pitching very well. And Cleveland, we mentioned, is sliding off the mountain a little bit, but he's pitching well. So I would look to get him on my team.
All right. My final guy.
Okay.
35 years old.
Okay.
He's been pitching since 2012.
Ooh, okay.
This year is the first year ever that he has pitched as an American League pitcher.
Okay.
And he's pitching for the Texas Rangers.
Okay.
His name is Patrick Corbin.
I've got him on my list too. Go ahead.
All right. Good old Patty Corbin. 3.91 ERA, 80 strikeouts, 1.290 whip, 6-7 on the season. In his last 4 games, he has double-digit fantasy points. That's against Baltimore, San Diego, the Angels, and Detroit. He has not allowed more than 2 runs in his last 3 games, And, oh, by the way, on Wednesday, he matches up against the Sacramento / Oakland / Las Vegas Athletics in Texas. Understand that about the ballpark and the importance of that as well. Listen, Patrick Corbin's not been all-star level, but he's been good, and now he's playing the A's this week. Sign me up for a good old Patty Corbin this week. I love the addition of him pitching for fantasy wins this week. So I say mark it down here. It's a 20-point performance by Patrick Corbin on Wednesday night.
Okay, so you and I are lockstep on this one because I've got him on my list. And he was a guy who gave you innings in the past, but would give up 5 runs while we did it.
Yeah.
But that's not been the case this year. And I'm all with you on him. So given that information, I need to go to a different pitcher, which
before you do that, because you said it there, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. His ERA was 5.20 or higher. Each of those seasons. That was all in Washington, of course. But you talk about, it didn't have run support. It doesn't matter. He's given up runs. So yeah, big deal this year. 3.91. It's the best it's been since 2019, his first year in Washington, when he had a 3.25 ERA. So 100%. Awesome. All right. Who else you got?
Okay. So last but not least, I'm going to go with, we talked about how Arizona is disappointing, which of course they are, but Ryan Nelson, okay, at 20% rostered, and he's 6-2 with the 3.52 ERA. That is, of course, solid. Yesterday against St. Louis, 6 innings, 1 run, 4 hits, 4 strikeouts, 1 base on balls. He's pitched in the 6th inning of 4 of his last 6 starts. And Friday, he pitches at Pittsburgh, as I mentioned on their schedule earlier. And Pittsburgh has gone completely off the rails.
Yes.
And any pitcher, and I didn't look to see who was pitching against Pittsburgh earlier than that, but any pitcher that's available that's pitching against Pittsburgh, you want to look into. And but it's certainly helpful that this guy is pitching well. And one of the only reasons why Arizona is even in the race, period, is because of what he's done in Merrill Kelly, of course. But he's available. He's at 20% roster, which in most other leagues probably makes him not available. But if he is, I'd like him. Get him on your team and get him ready to start for you on Friday.
Yep, 100% on that one. Pittsburgh's a great team to pitch against right now.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, we'll talk about that more next week as well. Next week on this show, we're talking about how to make the playoffs. I didn't count it. How many weeks are we away? Do you know, from the playoffs?
Okay. I can tell you that. This is what we talk about when we're doing live. Okay, so
while he's thinking about that. So next week, again, we're talking about how to make this final playoff push. Are you just on the outside looking to get in? Are you towards the bottom looking to stay in? That's kind of what we're going to be talking about next week, how the strategy behind that, how to get into the playoffs.
Okay, so after this week, there are 6 weeks remaining.
Okay, 6 matchups
in the fantasy regular season.
Yeah.
So 6 weeks is all you have to make any kind of maneuver if you need to, or solidify your spot. 6 weeks. And when we talk next week, it'll be 5 weeks.
And trade deadlines typically are, I think, this week. Could be wrong on that, but I think it's the last week of July. Maybe it's next week.
Hang on. I can tell you that information as well.
That could be different depending on league, of course, but I think standard is around this time of year.
Trade deadline is the 4th of August at 12 noon.
Okay. So you
in
got
our league.
2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks
Okay.
left on that. So now's the time. We'll talk about it next week. That's gonna be an important conversation to be a part of.
Okay.
All right, Kevin, tell everybody what you're doing this week. Where's your content? What content you got dropping?
Well, this past week, while you were on your little vacational, I dropped the running backs, my top 30 in PPR, which we discussed on Tuesday on our show. And so I did that. Then Friday, I dropped my my first half, even though it's really not the first half. But anyway, I counted it as first half. And my MVP selections in Fantasy League, I've got the MVP, I've got the Cy Young winner, the rookie of the year, the first half, and then my least valuable player. And there are some surprises in there, so you're going to definitely want to check that out. And I was mentioning to you before we even went live, I had a whole paragraph and a picture and why he was the MVP, best pitcher. Then I looked, I'm like, he's not. And so I went back and readjusted the whole thing. So just definitely check that out because there are some prizes in there. This past Friday, we went live when we talked about on the Seahawks sessions, because last Wednesday was National Hot Dog Day. So we discussed that. And then on Friday was 88 years that Krispy Kreme has been in existence. So we talked about donuts. And we did talk Seahawks.
Okay.
So we did do that. And, of course, this Tuesday coming up, we've got we're talking quarterbacks. And so you definitely want to check that out. And I'm on Twitter always. It's Kevin62 WILSCA, and on Reddit. And my fantasy baseball, has had some pushback on it. And that's fine. So I'm always open to discuss. So check me out.
Awesome. Same here. Tuesday night we'll be back. Belly Up Fantasy Life Football Show. If you're into fantasy football, man, we're just so close to draft season right now. Important conversations going on every Tuesday night. If you've missed previous episodes, check it out on the Belly Up Sports YouTube channel or on the Belly Up Fantasy Life Football podcast. Same here with the baseball on the Belly Up YouTube channel. If you missed that past episodes, or the Belly Up Fantasy Life Baseball podcast, all available for you wherever you get your podcasts. Thursday night, special night for the Sports Stove Football Show, the show that I host. With my dad. My dad is going to be here in studio live. So we'll be in the same room together doing our episode on Thursday. So looking forward to that. On Friday, we're driving up to Green Bay for the owners meeting. Me and my dad, my two boys, and a friend of ours are going up for the owners meeting in Green Bay. So the following week, we'll talk all about that. And it should be a fun experience up there. So looking forward to that as well. And then next Sunday, me and Kevin are right back here talking baseball again. Also, you can always follow at Belly Up Fantasy on Twitter and X, and always follow me at Sports Stove on Twitter and Instagram as well. So we sure appreciate you tuning in. We get the final stretch, so make sure you tune in every week now as we take you down to get you to your championship. We'll talk about our leagues, where we're at in our leagues, on different standings and stuff like that. So we'll talk about some of that next week as well from there. But thanks for tuning in this week to the Belly Up Fantasy Life Baseball Show. We appreciate, of course, the support from Belly Up Sports all along the way as well. All right, that's it. Let's get this thing rolling now. Let's get to the playoffs. I'm ready for it, right?
Absolutely. We are primed.
All right, everybody. Thanks. Have a wonderful week. We'll see you next Sunday.
That's right. Have a great week.